Lesson number 2, the script or screenplay. By far, probably the 16 lessons, the most important thing I'll teach you. Script is the most important thing in the film industry. The most important thing in the film industry. But it's not the most expensive thing in the film industry. And it's never going to be. And writers have always complained about it. Chaucer complained about it, Shakespeare complained about it, Plato complained about it, Sophocles complained about it. I'm sure the first caveman that had a piece of chalk or a rock in a cave complained about it. Writers will always complain about getting no respect. We give them the respect. Script is by far the most important thing. You'll have dissolves, fades, titles, it'll have color, it'll have sync, you'll have actors, wardrobe, and props. But it comes down to script, story. We say if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. Script is the most important thing. Then number 2, and art-wise, is actors. Of course, money slides in there. So let me show you how to get the great script. The great script. There are 3 ways of getting the great script. Lesson number 2. There are 3 ways of getting the great script. And remember, I said the word great. Good is not good enough. And if I ever talk with anybody, they say, oh, I've got the script. And I ask, how is it? Oh, it's good. I tell them right away, that's just mediocrity. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Good is not good enough. Your script better be great. And you know, there's an amazing thing that happens once you really get a script that's great and it doesn't need a little bit of work. Something happens in your emotion and your passion that people aren't allowed to say no to you now. There's something that'll happen. Hopefully, each one of you might get there someday. Maybe not. But if you do and you get the great script, something happens that people aren't allowed to say no to you yet. But right now, good is not good enough, and you got to get the great script, and you're a first time, you know very little. There are 3 ways of getting the great script, and none of them are near guaranteed. There are 3 ways. 1, write it yourself. 2, writer for hire. 3, buy it or option it. Write it, hire it, or buy it. Let's go through the 3 ways. First, writing. Let me give you the amazing crash course now in a half hour, and let me show you how to write the great script in 3 weeks. Typing 10 minutes a day. I think you can do it. You know, there's some wonderful screenwriting instructors out there, the McKee, the Fields, the Truby, the Seegers, the Heggs, etc. I'll condense it, I'll make it real simple. They get a little too much into too much depth sometimes, and they're also a little bit, I shouldn't say this, it's just my opinion, paranoid of calling it a formula. Those screenwriting instructors are excellent screenwriting instructors, and they teach the formula screenwriting. But they tap dance around ever calling it a formula because it's not politically correct to say writing is a formula. Because if they ever say they teach the formula, they'll be criticized as just being a formulaic teacher. Well, you know what? I don't care. It's a formula. Now let me teach you the formula and make it real easy so I can cut right to the chase and give it to you in a half hour. Your script is 90 pages. Here's the formula. You know, you introduce the boy, the girl, the situation, and then it's the roller coaster ride. Something happens, crash, about 10 minutes in, and then, I get through that, something happens, crash, something in, don't get too comfortable, pull the carpet out, crash. Each one of these points, the high points, the low points. Here's the formula. Every script has 5 uh-ohs, oh shits, and 1 oh my God in it. Every script has 5 uh-ohs. I'm giving you the amazing formula. You should be writing it down. Every script has 5 uh-ohs, oh shits, and 1 oh my God in it. I apologize for my language, but I don't know how to come up with another phrase to emphasize by not saying oh shit towards the end. I wish that oops doesn't do it. Anyway, let me show you how to do this, and let me show you how to write the great script now that you know the formula in 3 weeks. But first, here are the 2 sayings for writers. 2 sayings that writers adhere to. Saying number 1, writers write, thinkers think. Writers write, thinkers think. If you're a writer, move your fingers! Most of you say you're writers, and you know you're not. You're only thinkers. Thinking's just going to get you cancer. Let's get into action. Writers write, thinkers think, but you're scared to move your fingers. You're scared to write, aren't you? Because you're worried about what you're going to write. It's going to stink. Stop worrying about it. I guarantee you it will. So now the pressure's off. Now here's the second saying for writers. Nothing is written, it's rewritten. All you're doing is getting down the structure of the first draft. Stop thinking it's going to be great. It's going to need some work. It's the second draft that if God gifted you with the talent of storytelling and dialogue, you can make it great. So let me show you how to get to a very good first draft in 3 weeks by writing 10 minutes a day. That's all. Let's go through 3 weeks, 10 minutes a day. Week 1, day 1, Monday. I want you to do 1 to 3 pages of typing. Can you handle that? 1 to 3, excuse me, not pages, words. Words. Can you handle that? It's called your title. You'll be amazed how many of you, I'm not going to call you and ask you about this, have typed your title yet. There are probably about 10 of you in this room that have this great idea for this amazing movie that's been sitting around and formulating inside your head for the last 18 months, and you've yet to even type the title. Will you start moving your fingers? Life's passing you by. Get into action. Type the title. That's enough. You can't handle any more typing on day 1. Tuesday, mega jump and running. We're going to go to 5 to 8 words. What I want you to type now is something intangible. It's sort of called the theme of the movie. The theme. Sometimes it's called the heart of your movie. The theme. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. What would you like the audience to leave with? It has nothing really to do with the story, the plot points, the twist. It's just a feeling. 5 to 8 words. Men and women can never be friends. Sex. That's it. That's a theme. I'm sure most of you in this room have been dear friends with somebody from the opposite sex. And you know what happened at one time? You know, we all allow ourselves 4 inches nose to nose. And once you break the 4-inch barrier and go to 2 inches away from somebody else's nose, you must kiss them. The nose have almost touched. To stop the noses from beaking, we put our lips in the way. It's just a natural instinct. And once you kiss, the lips touch, the relationship's over. Wasn't that When Harry Met Sally? Isn't that the theme of When Harry Met Sally? They tried to be friends. They worked at being friends. They were best buddies. And then they kissed. And it was over. Doesn't mean it can't be a better relationship now. But the status quo changed. Theme. There was a movie I liked about 7-10 years ago, Pleasantville. Cute little black and white film starting off, but 2 kids fall into a TV sitcom. And every time somebody in the sitcom has a feeling, they turn to color. Ooh, I like that. The theme was wear your heart on your sleeve. Have emotions. Don't worry about what other people think about you. You're not doing anything illegal or wrong. Be very happy exactly who you are. However God made you, that's who you are. It's not going to change. Be proud of that. And I like that movie, Pleasantville. And I was expecting bubble gum. About 30 minutes into the movie, at the end of the movie, I thought it was going to be this beautiful sunset in all color. And about 1/3 to 2/3 of the way into the movie, a second theme popped up. Racism. Nazis, blacks against coloreds, burning books. It confused me. I can't handle, I'm a simple dude. I can't handle 2 themes in one movie. I believe you pick one theme, stick to it. See that 5 to 8 words? How much typing is that? That's not even 1 line. But you must type it. Then after you type it, take out a scissors. What do you call it? A scissors, and it's plural. Never figured that one out. Take out a scissors and cut out that line. And then I want you to take that line and Scotch tape it on your word processor or your keyboard. So it's right in front of your nose, and whenever you're typing, if you don't know what to type, type in that thing. You don't say those specific words, but an action or dialogue presents that. It keeps filling the holes. It's that common thread that's going through. But it's not story. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Wednesday. Step 3. 15 to 25 words. This, I don't know where this phrase came from. It's the log line, the TV guide log line. In 15 to 25 words, I want you to type it down, the story. This is the feeling or emotion. This is the story. Good guy, bad guy, situation, setting. But the key is you must put in the phrase, and complications arise when. Without that phrase, and complications arise when, and then you explain the complication, it's just a one-joke premise. It's a one-minute movie, and then it's boring. Well, on writing instructors, they don't say good guy, bad guy. They love words like protagonist, antagonist. Oh, where'd that dribble come from? Good guy, and bad guy doesn't have to be a person. It could be a building, a society, a social more, a group of people. But in 15 to 25 words, I want you to type the good guy, the bad guy, the setting, the situation, then type the words, and complications arise when, and now put in what's the complication. Watch this. I'll tell you the basic one-joke premise of where most of you come from, and you think you have this great idea, and you're pitching us, and you don't really have the great idea. All you have is really a poster and a one-joke premise. But you think it's a great idea. Your one-joke premise, it's we're going to do a contemporary Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story. We're going to do it in South Central LA, and it's going to be done entirely in hip-hop. Oh, okay. That's the pitch. Okay, it's a poster. It's cool. Well, what's the story? Don't tell me Romeo and Juliet. That's not enough. What's the story? Watch, I'll tell you that Romeo and Juliet. Then I'll put in, and complications arise when. I'll tell you the complication. Then it's going to take each of you 5 seconds to think. And then you go, whoa, yeah, that's a story. And you find out as soon as I say, and complications arise when I explain it, you now realize that no matter what scene you create, the pressure's there. And the drama's already there. It's built in. Same story, Romeo and Juliet. Poor boy meets rich girl. They fall in love. They're from opposite sides of the tracks. Ready? And complications arise when they discover they have the same mother. That's in the first 2 minutes. And she's pregnant. What are you going to do? Can you feel the pressure in the story with whatever drama, whatever dialogue you come up with? It's already sort of built in. You don't have that thing usually. You're trying to pitch this idea, this poster. You're trying to pitch to me as if you're Hollywood, what we can do with our $20 million, we can do that. You can't do that starting your career. You must come up with that. So now let's get into 15 to 25 words, guys. And complications arise when. And as soon as you say what that complication is, everybody goes, oh, yeah, oh. Until you have that, don't start typing. That's Wednesday. Thursday. Now we'll actually do a little bit of typing. Let's write a treatment. A treatment for feature film. How long's a treatment? Nobody really knows how long's a treatment. 3 pages, 7 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages. You know what? I know what number you heard. You heard 3. I said 3 pages, 5 pages, 7 pages, 20 pages. You heard 3. You heard 3. So let's write a 3-page treatment. Let's take the pressure off of writing a 3-page treatment by calling it a 3-page terrible treatment. So you found no problem now. So how do you start with a 3-page terrible treatment? Well, you get 3 pieces of paper. Duh. Here's all these great writing instructors. How many times have you heard this one? Screenwriting's a 3-act structure. I am so tired of hearing that. What do you mean? It begins? It ends? And there's something in between? Wow, how much am I paying for this class? But you know, in a weird way, it's true. So, beginning, middle, ending. Or you want to be exotic and call this Act 1. This is going to be Act 2. And this Act 3. So let's write a 3-page treatment. By the way, the 3-page treatment's easier. Here's why. It's double-spaced typing. So it's really only a page and a half of typing. So let's write a 3-page treatment that's really only a page and a half of typing. Let's write the beginning. And it's just going to be the top half of page 1. double-space typing, 3 or 4 long run-on sentences, but you instantly put in the 5 W's and the H. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Cut to the chase, tell me the story. I don't want to figure it out. I'm not here to think. I'm here to be entertained. So right in the beginning, page 1, the first 3 or 4 lines that are run-on sentences, they're grammatically incorrect, but right away cut to the 5 W's and the H. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Sherman Oaks, 1932. Joey Giordano. Now, in a treatment, the first time you type somebody's name, type their name in all capital letters. So it tells the reader, new person that just came into the story. So we don't have to try to, did we hear that person before? Where are they? So we know right away. From then on, it's upper and lowercase. Then, the first time you type somebody's name in uppercase, then do comma and put an age. 15, 22, 47, 65. Don't put a range, just put a number. So now we know sort of what age bracket. Then, comma, and then a little description, 5 to 10 word thing about a hooker with a heart of gold, a politician with a toothpaste smile who can steal you blind, a poor boy with dreams of riches. So I get some emotional feeling about the person. So right at the beginning, it's half of page 1. It's got the 5 W's and the H. It's got the good guy, the bad guy, maybe a couple other people. I know their age, I know a little about them, and I sort of know what the story is right at the beginning. Next thing you do is go to the bottom of page 3 and write the ending. I don't know how you think you're going to write a script when you don't know how the ending. Oh, it's free form. It'll just evolve. Oh, this is the creative process, and it just evolves. And someday, when you get to page 90, you go, the end. It doesn't happen that way. You'll be amazed how many people, when I used to be a little development executive, would come into the office and want to pitch something. And we'd go, okay, what's the title? I can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? Oh, the title's so great. If I told you the title, you'd do it without me. Wait a second, wimp. Let me get this clear. You're taking up my space, my oxygen right now, pitching to me, and you won't even tell me the title. And actually, that's all you have, and you haven't typed it. And you're worried that if you tell it to me, I'll know how great it is, and I'll do it without you. Yeah, I'm worried about that. Well, stop worrying about that. I guarantee you I will do it without you, because I happen to have a work ethic, and I'll sit down and I'll type. And you're this dreamer that thinks people are going to throw money to you. By the way, let's cut right to the chase right here. We love this dribble in the world about Hollywood steals ideas. Hollywood doesn't steal ideas. By the way, they've already been done 1,000 years ago. Next, does anybody own, did you hear the word own, an idea? No. You know it's true. So if we ever spent the money and went to court, you can't win. Nobody owns an idea. And if all you have is a thought or an idea and you tell it to me and I have a work ethic, I will do it without you every time. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm going to go to heaven. Because I made this world a better place by working. But you know what? That person, I'm sure you're going to pop up a year or 2 years later complaining, I stole your idea. Nobody owns ideas, guys. Nobody owns ideas. It sells, makes TV ratings, it sells newspapers, you can write books off of it, it's good gossip, but it won't stand up in court. Nobody owns a thought. Okay, what's your title? How does it begin? I don't know. How does it end? I don't know. You know how many development executives get people that pitch like that? Why do you think I want to do it then? You won't tell me the title, you don't know how it begins, and you don't know how it ends, but you want me to finance it. Why? It's spiritual. It's spiritual, the world. Now, you know our answer in Hollywood, you want to send a message? Call Western Union. We're not Western Union. Anyway, here's what I'm getting you guys to with that yelling. You've got to know how it begins. You've got to know how it ends. And you know what? Every movie I've ever seen, I like the beginning, the 3 to 5 minutes. And every movie I've ever seen, if I just take it out of context and I go into the movie in the last 3 to 10 minutes, I will like it. It'll be interesting. It'll be visually attractive. So every beginning is good. Every ending is good. Every movie ever made. Do you know when I get bored in movies? It's that thing that's called Act 2, the big middle, which, by the way, is the story. There is no story. And now let me cut to the formula. You got to learn how to write this thing, the big middle, which are those 5 uh-ohs, oh shits, and 1 oh my God, the roller coaster ride. Here's how you start off trying to create a story. Here's page 1, and somewhere over here is where the movie ends. It's page 90 to 120. So you start off how you structure. There's this guy, there's this girl, they meet, they go to the house, they fall in love, they decide to go over here, they take a car, but he wants to meet her parents, but her parent isn't here, but he meets the parents, and he finds out. This is so boring. This is the most boring movie I think anybody can possibly write. So what you do in writing the movie, you introduce the boy, the girl, the situation, they take an action, they get on the road, and then, uh-oh. Problem. They crash, and 2 scenes later, throw a little more salt on their wounds. And it's really a problem. But somehow they get through it. Uh-oh, and about 10 minutes, 15 minutes later in the movie, crash again. Uh-oh. Then do it again. Then do it again. Then do it again. Then do it again. Here's what you guys got to do before you start typing. Do you know these points? The highs, the lows, that roller coaster ride that's going to be in the movie. You know, I sort of call them 1, 1A, 2, 2A. Then after you wrote the beginning, you write the ending, then just make a paragraph for 1, 1A, 2, 2A, 3, 3A, 4, 4A. Then you put a title page on, the title, a treatment for feature film by, for further information, and you register it at the Writers Guild for $20. You don't have to be a member. If you're a member, I think it's $10. You register it for $20, and you send it with $30 to the Library of Congress, and they copyright it for $30. There's nothing exotic about it. It's real simple. It's $20 and $30. Now, do you own this thing? Yeah. Is this an idea? No, this is a thing. This is now tangible. This is a treatment for feature film. You own it. Now, maybe you type something that's so vague that you don't own anything, but you think you do. But if it's clear and specific, which is gray semantics, I don't know how to define that. If this treatment is specific, then you send me, the development executive, the treatment for feature film, and now I make a decision to meet with you. I can't steal it from you, and if I steal it from you and then I type it, and then I register and copyright it, I can't register and copyright it before you do. Only Superman flying counterclockwise around Earth trying to save Lois Lane can turn back the clock. It's so easy to prove you created it first if you move your fingers. But stop this talking. Stop this I'm good on thoughts. So let's get your treatment, register and copyright it. But this is about how to get a great script in 3 weeks. Okay, we're only in 4 or 5 days now, guys. This is very little typing. Now, Friday. Okay. All writing instructors, I don't know where the number comes from, but I accept it, say every movie has 40 to 60 scenes in it. 40 to 60 scenes in the movie. 40 to 60 scenes in the movie. Okay, what's a scene? They go here, they go over there, somebody else comes in the room, we change time, we change location. I don't know. Nobody really knows. I'm not the college prof that's going to give you a rote question and memorize this and there'll be a pop quiz next Tuesday. I don't know. All I know is there are 40 to 60 of them. So what you should do is rent a couple of videos of movies you really liked just because you liked the story. Not the acting, not the stunts, not the personality, just the story. Sixth Sense, American Beauty, Atlantic City. And McKee always obsesses on Casablanca. Yeah, you shouldn't. It's a wonderful story. Rent the movie, sit in your living room with a pencil and a clipboard and a legal pad, and count the scenes, which you don't know what is the scene. You'll see it starts, okay, 2 people in a car. You go 1, car, 2 people. That's all. Up, 2, apartment building, New York. Apartment, living room, one person. Oop. 3, car. We now know highway, car, Jack. Ooh, 4, apartment building, New York, bathroom, Jack. Ooh, scene 5, gas station, highway, Jack. Scene 6, bathroom, New York apartment, Jack and Jill. Scene 7, bathroom, gas station, Jack and Jill. And you'll come up with 40, 50, 60, that's all. From movies that you like their rhythm. And you'll come up with a number, either 40, 50, or 60. Somewhere close to that. Now, writing instructors teach, you're supposed to now get 40, 50, or 60 4x5 file cards and jot down 40, 50, 60 scenes. And then you're supposed to take them home and put them up on the wall in this structure, roller coaster ride. That's good information, it's correct information, but it's not workable. Here's why. Who here has a wall that big with nothing on it at home? And if you have nothing on it, go put a lithograph on it. Go pull a George O'Keeffe, get a dead dog and put the skull up there and call it art. Put a bow or a ribbon on it. So it's great information, but it's not doable. Now, I had one writing instructor about 17 years ago say, this is what she does, and she's massively rich now doing this. And she showed me, here's what she does to get structure. And I went, that works. She just brings out one sheet of paper, a legal sheet of paper. And if she thinks there are 50 scenes, then she takes out the sheet of paper, and down the left, she just writes the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 30, 40, 50. She writes down 1 through 50. Now, she takes a pencil. This is not typing. And I want you guys to think of this as it's a jigsaw puzzle. As soon as you think about the word writing, it puts a work ethic into you, and it scares you. And nobody really likes work. That's why we call it work. We don't call it joy. It's work. Here, this is a puzzle. Some of you actually like to do puzzles. Here's the puzzle. It's not typing. It's a pencil, a piece of paper. Scene 1. I don't know. Encino, 1932. The poor boy. He's sleeping. Father comes home drunk, wakes him up, beats him to a pulp, breaks his leg. Bugger. Scene 2. Beverly Hills, 1932. The rich girl. Her father comes home drunk also, wakes her up, rapes her, beats her pulp, breaks her leg. Bugger. It's not a comedy. Love story. How do these kids meet? Emergency room, hospital. The two fathers, guilt-ridden, drag in their hobbling kids with a cock and bull story. But the kids meet each other. They're both believing they're from dysfunctional families. They have something in common. It's 1932. The boy's 16, the girl's 15. They start flirting. The boy starts flirting with the girl. I don't know what they talk about in 1932. It's like, hi, you're the actress, I'm the actor. Do you like ice cream? Say no. Have you ever had ice cream? Say no. You've never had ice cream. Aren't you? You're rich. Chocolate ice cream? No. Vanilla ice cream? No. Strawberry ice cream? No. Peach pie? No. Apple cobbler? No. Boy goes, why are rich people rich even though we're poor? I've had those things. So let's go out. I'll get you ice cream. And you go, okay. And that's our date. So we go to an ice cream parlor. And we have a date, and we fall in love. And I get you a banana split, a hot fudge sundae. I get you chocolate cake. I get you everything. And it's like we're in love. And we decide to run away. So the next day, we're going to elope. I steal a car. I go to your house, tap on your window, and we're going to elope. However, the mama, your mother comes to the window. She's in tears. She's crying. What's the matter? You died in your sleep the night before. Bummer. It's not a good love story now. You're dead, and you really did die. I don't believe your mother. And I just know that she doesn't like poor people, and she doesn't want you hanging around. Let me see you. Where are you? Where's your body? And she tells me the morgue where you are, and the mother's really crying. You really did die, but I don't believe it. So I go to the morgue. There's your father, who I know raped you 4 days ago, and there's your body. You are dead. I just go into hysterics. I beat up the father. I know he murdered you, probably covering up this rape thing. Scene 9, I'm in jail. Public defender's assigned to my case. Okay. And I try to explain to the public defender about a father raping a daughter. Try to do that in 1932. And then the public defender, see what I'm doing? I'm telling a story now. I haven't even got you to one uh-oh. We're about 10 minutes in. I'm going to hit a real uh-oh with you now. The public defender says, hey, son, I don't know why I became an attorney and I'm signed to handle sick, disgusting people like you. Let me explain something to you. That girl died because she's a diabetic. All her life, her parents have been keeping her away from sugar. And somebody murdered her with an overdose of sugar 3 days ago. Oh, shit, got it? Wait a second, wait, come back. You're learning to tell a story, guys. A long time ago, I was a development executive getting your little poster thoughts, fleeting ideas that you think are so great, and they're not real stories. And you're getting frustrated. I'm trying to teach you what a story is now. By the way, this is just a pencil. You start going down, and you can come up from the bottom also. You're already, with that roller coaster ride, you got 11 scenes already in. Plot this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now, what you're doing right now is just writing what's called the A story or the external story. Now let's go and get some B stories or internal stories or subplots. There are about 3 of them in each movie. Now let's come up with them. But first, I don't want any stick figure characters. No one-dimensional character about a father that comes home and beats up his son. So maybe scene here, I move a scene in here, that this poor boy's father, we now establish this father in 1917 walked to Los Angeles from Guatemala. It took him 8 months to get here, and he came to America for a better life. And in the last 17 years, he married a Guatemalan woman that lives here. He's raised 4 children. His son's the oldest one. He's 16. He's going to go to college. And this father has not had less than 3 jobs every day. He has not had more than 4 hours of sleep in the last 16 years. And his son is getting a better life in America. And the day before, the father found out his son was kicked out of high school for drinking and destroyed his dream. And now you have some depth of understanding of why a father comes home and does something like that. Whether it's right or wrong, but you have depth to that character. And I'll put in a scene here with this father that rapes a daughter. I can't justify it or rationalize it. It's not in my mind to do it, but I'll give you some depth to that person. There is no black and white in characters, except when you're doing things like Star Wars and cowboys. Everybody is gray. So I'll give you some other depth to that character and fills it in there. Next, here's what Hitchcock always does around scene 4 or minute 4, 5, or 6. He calls it a red herring. It's not politically correct to knock Hitchcock, but I'm not so dazzled by him. Here's what Hitchcock does in every movie around scene 4, scene 5. He puts in a scene that leads you astray for another 5 or 6 minutes. And then it always comes to a dead end. And then you got to go back to the story. I always, whenever I see that, I go, why'd you waste my time? That's boring. Wasting my time. Several years back, contemporary Hitchcock, What Lies Beneath? Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer. You know, scene 1, you introduce the family. Scene 2, you introduce what Harrison Ford does. Scene 3, you introduce the kids. Scene 4, they all go off and leave her alone with an empty house. She has an empty, vacuous life. Scene 5, there's that house next door. Something mysterious is in that house next door. And the next 4 or 5 scenes that took 7 to 10 minutes were about Michelle Pfeiffer getting her husband to understand there's something weird going on there. Let's confront. And when they confronted, dead end. Go back to the story. Then they went back to here. I thought that's a waste of time. I like what writers do that's called foreshadowing. Around scene 4 or 5, you put in an interesting tidbit of information that when you see the information, you don't know you're being fed the ending of the movie. And it's just interesting. It was like the movie Rounders, Matt Damon, Ed Norton. It's about kids playing poker. Poker is the same for everybody. The cards are the same. It's easy to play poker. Professional poker players look for what they call tells. A tell is something you do that you don't know you're doing when you bluff. The job of any professional poker player is to play you long enough, could be a couple of years, until they learn your tell. What you do that you don't know you do when you bluff. You look to the left, you look to the right, you touch your nose, you open the cards, you do it. You don't know you do it. Then once they know your tell, the next time you bluff, they'll raise the stakes, they'll bet the world, and you lose everything you own. So right there in Rounders, scene 4, beginning was Matt Damon's in law school, he's screwing up, Matt Damon has an apartment and a girlfriend that seems to be a problem. Matt Damon's looking for money. He takes the money, plays John Malkovich, the Russian card shark. During that 3-minute scene, Matt Damon lost all his money. Most people thought that scene was a depressing scene. It's a downer, his life's over. No, that was the tell. While playing Malkovich, he found out that when Malkovich bluffs, he pulls the cookie apart. It was something with an Oreo cookie or something. So that was it. That's the seed of information that's laid right here. The rest of the story was about him getting enough money to come back on scene 49 to beat Malkovich on the tell. And then Malkovich loses everything. And there's the end of the movie, really. I knew that. It's around scene 4 or 5. Now, you should come up with that. I like that. I'm not right. Maybe you like that. You're going to start seeing these things. So you come up with this. Next, we still got another 20, 25 scenes to fit in. So let's do the B stories or the subplots. And they're always triangles that take up about 5 scenes. But they always end on around scene 49 that this sub-story resolves itself. Matt Damon, law school girlfriend. Here's another triangle. Matt Damon, Ed Norton, the wacko that he's playing with, and he's not a wacko, and the girlfriend. Matt Damon, Ed Norton getting enough money to get together. Fill in these things. This is a day or two. This is not writing. It's just a puzzle. With a pencil, one piece of paper, erase, move down, fill it in, but get your structure, get your roller coaster ride in there. This is 1 week. 1 week. Now in the second week, let's start writing the script. Now that you got structured, I believe you absolutely have to get structured. There are some amazing writers that I don't know how God gifted them. Their mind naturally thinks that way. So they don't do this. And they'll talk about their art. But they naturally do this. It's in them. I don't think it's naturally in you. So now this is what they do that they don't realize they do. Get structured. Yes, sir. Shoot. Loud.
What does that FS stand for in scene 4?
Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's go back now. You got structured. Now, remember I told you how to write a great script in 3 weeks, writing 10 minutes a day? So now you got structured. Let's just type by the numbers. You'll get the book on how to type properly, or the software computer program on how to type a script properly. And on the second week on Monday, just type scene 1. That's all. No more. You can't handle more. You're only allowed to do 7 minutes of typing. If it comes out a half a page, 2 pages, 3 pages, I don't care. That's all. Now go to work, do your job, go to the movies, have a date tonight. Tuesday, type scene 2. Half a page, 2 pages, that's it. Wednesday, another 5 minutes of typing. Type scene 3. Number 3, just number 3, you're structured. Half a page, 2 pages, 3 pages. Thursday, number 4. It's not rocket science. Thursday, it's number 4. Friday, I bet you call in sick at work. I bet you're bugged that this obnoxious teacher told you to only write 5 minutes a day. I bet now that you got structured, and you got into a rhythm of typing, I bet you just want to stay home on Friday, and you will knock out 20, 30, 40, 50 pages. It's not a biggie there. Saturday, another 20, 30 pages. Sunday, go to church and say, thank you, God. And in the third week, you'll finish the first draft. You register and copyright it again. You registered and copyrighted the treatment. Now you wrote a first draft. You're showing proof now of how long and how you worked on it, tangible proof. You register and copyright it again. And I just told you how to write, not the great script. I told you nothing is written, it's rewritten. You'll have an excellent first draft now. It won't be great. And don't start pitching it to people where I used to be as development executives, because it's not great. You must make it great. To make it great, to me, comes in, this is storytelling and structure, comes in the gift of dialogue. And great writers just have a gift of dialogue, that it's just there. That when I read it, that's the way people talk. And I've met most of the screenwriting instructors and I ask, how do you teach dialogue? That's tough. You can't, really. Maybe you have that gift. If you don't have the gift, you've done this, now you hire a writer for the second draft. Dialogue. And now here's the other thing. You guys don't know how to cut to the chase to tell a story. When they say in Hollywood that we don't read more than 10 pages of a script, and then we know whether or not we like it, that's a lie. We don't read more than a page. I can tell if your script stinks from the first page. Here's the problem with most first-time screenwriters is you write novels in screenplay format, and you think it looks like a script, therefore it's a script. Novels had a lot of adjectives and adverbs in it describing scenes. Exterior park, day. Then you guys spend 3 lines describing the park. Trees, bushes, flowers, benches, lovers holding hands. Nothing's happened. This ain't the BBC. Cut to the chase. Where's the story? Here's how we expect a script. A lot of white space with typing right down the middle. Exterior park, day. And remember, men with a TV set and a remote with 80 channels have an attention span of 15 seconds. You know that, women. You know how men watch TV. They don't watch anything all the way through. Now, how are you going to write a script that's going to get a guy like me to like it when I don't have more than a 15-second attention span? And I'm proud of it. And that's how the world is here. So if 1 page of script is 1 minute running time, 15 seconds is 1/4 the way down page 1. It's line 5 or line 6. What do you have on the first page of your script that's on line 5 or line 6 that grabs me and cuts right to the chase? What do you have? Probably nothing. You're still describing the park. You're writing a novel. Cut it out. Here's how we expect the script written. Exterior park, day, skip a space, body. That's it, body. That's a line. Skip a space, penis, severed, in mouth. You're not flicking, are you? You're staying with it, aren't you? You cut to the chase. By the way, I apologize for that salacious way of presenting it, but it sort of made the point across. Now, on the bottom of page 1, where on TV we cut to 2 minutes of commercials, what's going to be so good at the bottom of page 1 that's going to hold an audience sitting there for 2 minutes when we got the playoffs on TV now? Do you have anything on the bottom of page 1 also that's going to grab me? You better. I'm a guy I've read about 4,000 scripts when I used to be a junior reader development person 15 to 18 years ago. You're not going to dazzle me with typing if it's in the right format, guys. And you better cut to the chase right away on page 1. Line 5, line 6, grab me, and the bottom of page 1, grab me. Have the correct typing, and then about every 10 pages, sort of I get that jolt again. Okay. And then the key is dialogue. You wrote the script. Most of you in this room already have a script. So take it home tonight, pick a scene where it has a man and woman talking to each other. Put your thumb over the word John, and tell me by those 8 words of your dialogue if you can tell that's a man talking. Then put your thumb over the word Mary, and tell me by those 6 words if you can tell that's a woman talking. Let's find out if you have a gift of dialogue. That's the hardest thing to come up with. What I've taught you here is how to do a story and a structure, how to write the treatment, register and copyright it, and write a very good but not great first draft. But register and copyright it, so it really is yours now. Then if God gifted you with a gift of dialogue, and if you want to see what real dialogue looks like in typing, read some attorney depositions. That's 2 people talking to each other politely, that's typed, with very few words, that they know each other very simply, but they cut right to the chase that's there. That's it, you know how to write a script now. Let's get into the next one. Writer for hire, writer for hire, writer for hire. The second way, you're not going to write it yourself, but you write the treatment and register the treatment, then writer for hire. Here's what you're going to do for writer for hire. And stop making it expensive by saying the word writer. I always call it typist for hire. Typist for hire. What are you going to pay your boyfriend, girlfriend, the guy next door, somebody that took a 2-day story structure class? Now, everybody that says they're a writer says, and reads about Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood pays mid-6 figures, mid-6 figures, mid-6 figures, maybe even a 7-figure deal. Okay. That's when you're in Hollywood. By the way, you live in Inglewood. You're not in Hollywood. You're not in the movie industry. You haven't written a script that has an opening title credit, single title card on it. That's when we pay those people. So you're all first-timers, and a lot of you with the tapes are out there somewhere in Oklahoma and Nebraska, and what are you going to pay the next-door neighbor? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to pay them anywhere from $500 to $800 a week. That's enough money. You get yourself structured. You go out and find somebody that says they're a writer. Have you ever written a script? You gotten paid for it? Yes. You did? Okay, I'm not hiring you. Have you written a script? Have you?
Short pages.
Say again?
Short pages.
Short pages, I don't care. Have you got,
News story.
did you get paid for it?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody here? You wrote a script?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get paid for it?
No.
Okay, I'd like to hire you. I'll give you a job as a writer. Would you like it?
Sure.
Here's my idea, here's my thought, here's the structure. I'll give you $700 a week. 5 weeks, 2 drafts, and 5 weeks, first draft done. And nothing's written, it's rewritten. And then after we look at it, we'll let it sit for a week, then I'll hire you for a second draft, another $700 a week. You want the job? Here's a check for $700, start typing. I shouldn't have said $700, I could have gotten them for 4, I think. That's it. I'm not talking about Writers Guild now. In the next lesson, we'll get into guilds and unions. Writer for hire, just an employee. So I hire him for 2 drafts, 5 weeks, $700 a week, $3,500. Nothing's written, it's rewritten. Another $1,500, $5,000. Budgets on most people on first feature films are usually $3,000, about $8,000 for scripts. $3,000, $8,000 for scripts. Problem with most first-timers is you don't know what the great script looks like when you read it. So what you should do is read a bunch of scripts, and only read scripts of movies you've seen. You know what the movie looks like, let's look at what the typing looks like. Wherever you live, go to the local university library, read the local scripts of movies you've seen. Then go out there and get a couple books on story structure. Then you're looking for a writer for hire, then take a night school class of creative writing where every Tuesday night somebody stands up and reads 2 pages of dialogues. You know what? Maybe their dialogue's great. It's the one thing that can't be taught. And if you just discovered this person who stood up in this night school class Thursday night at 7 o'clock and reads 5 pages of dialogue, and it's great, you just discovered undiscovered talent. You walk up to that person and you kick in the line. Hi, I'm a producer. My name's Dov Simmons. I have several pictures in development now. I'd like to hire you right now. And I'll start with it. I'll pay you $700 a week, and I'll write the check right now. But I own it! Stop being scared of writers that they own anything. If you want to own anything, writers, write it yourself. Then hire me. That's the bottom line. I own it. You're my employee. You are an employee. Talent doesn't like hearing that. I'm sorry. Now, by the way, when I'm really in the industry, I don't talk that way. I only talk that way when I'm in the class. That's the bottom line. I'll hire you for 2 drafts, and this is it. And no, you have no input. You have no say. Of course, I'll do you like a token. I'd like your input. I like this. Now go away. Well, I'll never say now go away, etc. I own it. I'm the boss. It's my check. And that's it. That's writer for hire, writer for hire, writer for hire. Let's get into the third way, then we'll wrap up the segment. optioning spec scripts. Optioning spec scripts. There are probably 1 million scripts written on speculation this year. So you read one of these scripts. They didn't get paid anything to write it. You read it and you love it. Okay, that script that you wrote for somebody you got paid for, did it go into turnaround? Do you own it now or they own it? They own it. Do you have a script that you own? You do? Okay, I read it. I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'd like to purchase your script. Okay, we'll get into optioning now. Watch what happens. What do you want for it?
Associate producer.
Title? Sure. That cost me nothing. No money. Tell me money. Tell me a dollar amount. What do you say it? Okay. So the first thing you negotiate in an option agreement is A, the purchase price. I was hoping you'd say 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, maybe even 50,000, but 100,000 is still fine. Okay, I'll give you 100,000. If he said anything more, I'd push him down. In the rule, you're a salesman, producers. In the rules of salesmanship, rule number 1, he who says the first number loses. He just said a number. He lost. Said 100,000. Okay, I'm not giving you a check for 100,000. So I'll probably give him a check of 5 or 10% of that down. Here's a check for 5,000 or 10,000. So A is the purchase price. B, the option price, 5 to 10,000. C, option time period. I will option this. This will be for an 18-month period, never less than 12. Here's the reason. If you only option something for 60 or 90 days, by the time you get your act together, get it to somebody that can write the big check to make it happen, your option period ran out, and they'll do an end run around you. And if you come to me with an option and you only got 3 weeks left on it, what do you think I'm going to do? I'll take good meeting with you with 3 weeks, and 3 weeks and 1 day later I'll go to the person who wrote the script. You know that's going to happen. And I didn't do anything illegal, and I'm going to go to heaven. I'm sorry if you were a bit naive and not a good business person there. But if you option it for 18 months, get your act together quickly and get to me with 16 months to go, I'm stuck with you. A, what's the purchase price? B, what's the option price? C, option time period. D, always put in renewal periods or extension periods. Put in 2 1-year renewal periods or extension periods that any time during that option period you want to extend it another 1 year or 2 years, I can do it for an additional $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. So I actually tie up the property now for really 3.5 years. A, purchase price. B, option price. C, option time period. D, renewal periods. E, payment schedule. Okay, here's 100,000, 10,000 down, or maybe it's 5,000 down, maybe it's 1,000 down. Let's say it's 10,000 down. When do I pay you the other 90,000? Do I owe you the other 90,000? By the way, payment schedule. Is option price applied to purchase price? You as the producer always want that in it. You as the writer don't want it in it. So let's say I snuck the line in. So now I owe you 90,000. When do I pay you that 90,000? We usually put in upon commencement of principal photography. But I can say 1/3 upon commencement of principal photography, another 1/3 upon striking an answer print, and another 1/3 on some revenue triggering device. But basically, I got a free script that somebody else wrote, no gambling on my part, and I read it and I think it's perfect. I'll give you 100,000, 1,000 down. And I can option it for 1,000 down, $100 down. But I'll tie it up for 1.5 years with 2 1-year renewal periods, so it's really 3.5 years with some little checks in there. That's optioning a property, be it a book, be it a person's true story, or be it a spec script. There are 3 ways of getting the great script. None of them are guaranteed. 1, write it yourself. There's nothing cheaper than that. But get your treatment down, get your 40, 50, 60 scenes, get your structure, write your first draft, and if God gifted you with the gift of dialogue, write the second draft, and I believe it'll be great. I really believe it'll be great. If not, then you do the treatment and first draft yourself, then hire a writer to do a rewrite, but you look for somebody that has a gift of dialogue. You know it when you hear them read their other scripts, the dialogue. Never mind storytelling, you got that one down. Or you option properties from spec scripts and people that wrote it on speculation. So lesson number 2 is over. We're now going to go to the next lesson. Lesson number 3, we're going to start getting into numbers. Remember, your first feature film is going to be somewhere between $5,000 and $300,000, but a $300,000 feature, you're going to call it $1 million feature. I'm going to teach how to make $1 million feature for $300,000, and the first subject we'll get into is above the line guilds and unions. 3 guilds, one union. The Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, the Screen Actors Guild, and below the line union, technician and crew. What their rules are, what their regulations are, what they call low budget, and then forget about it. Because nobody gets in trouble anyway, but everybody's worried about getting in trouble, but nobody gets in trouble. Roger Corman has made 1,000 feature films. Not one of them, I think, has ever been IA. Is he in any trouble? Is he hiding? You know where his office is. Matter of fact, he's a celebrity. Ed Burns, Brothers Macmillan, when he started that one, I'm sure that was Guild and Union. You know it wasn't. Is he in any trouble? No, look where he is now. He's with Spielberg. We'll get there, lesson number 3. Thank you very much. You understand? Lesson number 3 coming up shortly, Guilds and Unions. God bless.